didn't mean to kill Austin. Ashley, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
Dylan Shoemaker walked into a state Supreme courtroom pleading his case, telling his victim's mother and the court he's remorseful for what he did.
Dylan Shoemaker stood in that Buffalo courtroom shaking, tears running down his face, begging the judge to believe he never meant to hurt that little boy. For a moment, it looked like Judge Buller might actually go easy on him. But then the judge brought up a phone call Dylan made from jail to his mother, and Dylan's whole act fell apart right there. What did he say on that call that destroyed everything? Subscribe and turn on notifications to see how this courtroom drama plays out. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. March 19, 2013, in Springville, New York, a small town in Erie County. 16-year-old Dylan Shoemaker was dating 19-year-old Ashley Smith, who had 2 young sons. The youngest, Austin Smith, was just 23 months old, 4 days away from turning 2. Dylan, Ashley, and her boys were all living together at Dylan's mother's house after Ashley had to leave her own family's place. That evening, Ashley headed out to work her shift at a local restaurant. She left her 2 babies at home with Dylan. It was supposed to be a normal night. Feed the kids, put them to bed, maybe watch some TV. Simple stuff. Dylan had babysat before. This shouldn't have been a problem. But around 5 p.m., things started going wrong. Austin was being a typical toddler, fussy and difficult. He spit out his food. He wouldn't settle down. And Dylan? Dylan lost his temper. What happened over the next several hours would end with a 911 call and a community in shock. By the time paramedics arrived, Austin was unresponsive. Dylan told them it was an accident, that the boy had fallen. But doctors took one look at Austin's injuries and knew immediately. This was no accident. Investigators later pulled Dylan's phone records, and what they found was disturbing. Starting around 5 p.m., Dylan sent text after text while Austin was in his care. He was flirting with another girl, trying to sell synthetic product to his friends, even trying to line up a hookup for later that night. All of this while he was supposed to be watching 2 little kids. At some point that evening, Dylan texted Ashley and told her Austin had fallen. Just a casual message, like it was no big deal. She was at work, trusting him to keep her boys safe. She had no idea what was actually going on in that house. When paramedics finally got there, Austin was already gone. The medical examiner found severe brain trauma, the kind that comes from multiple impacts over time. Ruptured blood vessels, hemorrhaging, injuries all over his little body. None of it matched Dylan's story about a fall. Not even close. Dylan called 911 that night and acted like he didn't know what happened. He played the confused, panicked boyfriend. But the evidence didn't lie. The text messages told the whole story. While Austin was fighting for his life, Dylan was texting girls and selling a controlled substance. By the time police arrested him, they already knew. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a tragic mistake. This was murder. And Dylan Shoemaker, just 16 years old, was about to face the consequences. When doctors examined Austin's body, they knew right away. A fall doesn't cause that kind of damage. This was intentional harm, repeated over hours. Dylan's story fell apart before he even finished telling it. Police dug into his phone and found everything. The flirty texts, illegal substances, the casual messages to Ashley while her son was dying. Every lie Dylan told was right there in black and white. He was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Even though he was only 16, the state of New York decided to try him as an adult. The crime was too serious to handle in juvenile court. The trial started in December 2013 in Buffalo. Erie County prosecutors laid out the evidence: text messages, medical reports, expert testimony. It was overwhelming, but Dylan's defense team had one last move. They put him on the stand. Dylan cried. He apologized to Ashley, to the jury, to everyone. He said, "I never wanted to hurt Austin. I never wanted Austin to pass." He choked up, wiped his eyes, begged them to believe he didn't mean for it to happen.
I didn't mean to kill Austin. Ashley, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
The jury didn't buy it. After hearing all the evidence, they deliberated for less than 3 hours. Guilty, second-degree murder. Austin's family cried in the courtroom, not just for the little boy they lost, but for the fact that a teenager's life was now over too. But the real drama was still coming, because Dylan wasn't done performing yet. If you think Dylan deserves what's coming, go ahead and hit that like button. If you think justice matters, share this story. Remember, when good people stay silent, that's when the worst people get away with everything. January 10th, 2014, sentencing day. The courtroom in Buffalo was packed. Family members, reporters, community members, all waiting to hear what Judge M. William Bowler would decide. Dylan walked in already crying. His eyes were red, his hands were shaking. He turned toward Austin's family and broke down completely. He was sobbing so hard he could barely stand. He told them how sorry he was, how he never meant for any of this to happen, how he wished he could take it all back. Some people in that courtroom actually started to feel bad for him. He looked like a broken kid who made a terrible mistake. His attorney, Joseph Terranova, stood up and asked the judge. He talked about Dylan's rough childhood, his mental health issues, his age. He said Dylan was just a kid who lost control, who didn't know how to handle the situation. 15 years seemed fair, he argued. Give the boy a chance at life.
I can't take back what was done. I wish I could. I would give my life for Austin. I loved him a lot.
Austin Smith was completely defenseless. That's a given. But there were other dynamics at work there, including my client's inability to either control his anger or frustration and his inexperience in babysitting.
Then Judge Bowler spoke. He said he'd listened to a phone call Dylan made to his mother while he was locked up waiting for trial. The judge had the transcript right there in front of him, and he read it out loud for everyone to hear. "I'm a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me." The courtroom went dead silent.
The record will show that you admitted that on July 23, 2013, in a phone call to your mother from the holding center, you stated, and I got a quote from the court reporter, "I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me."
Dylan's face dropped. He knew exactly what call the judge was talking about. And he knew right then it was over. Judge Bowler looked straight at Dylan and said, "You are a manipulator and a deceiver." He didn't stop there. He brought up the text messages, illegal substances, and the girls Dylan was texting while Austin was dying. He said Dylan knew exactly what he was doing. That age didn't excuse what happened. Then he handed down the sentence. 25 years to life. Maximum penalty. Dylan sat there, stunned. No more tears. No more performance. Just the realization that his plan didn't work. He wasn't going home. You'd think that would be the end of it. But in February 2016, an appeals court in New York reviewed Dylan's case. They didn't overturn the conviction. He was still guilty of murder. But they did reduce his sentence from 25 years to life down to 18 years to life. Their reasoning? Dylan was only 16 when it happened. He had mental health issues. He had no prior criminal record. The appeals court said the original sentence was too harsh. A lot of people were furious. Austin's family felt like the system let them down all over again. Online, the reaction was even stronger. Clips of Dylan crying in court went viral. People called them crocodile tears, fake emotions designed to get sympathy. The video spread across YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, everywhere. Millions of people watched and commented, most of them saying Dylan got exactly what he deserved. Right now, Dylan Shoemaker is locked up at Clinton Correctional Facility in New York. He's been there since 2014. If he behaves himself, he'll be eligible for parole in 2031. He'll be 34 years old. Austin Smith never got the chance to turn 2. Dylan gets a second chance at life. Here's what this case teaches us. Actions have consequences, no matter how young someone is. Dylan thought he could manipulate everyone with tears and apologies. He thought his age would save him. But the truth always comes out. That phone call exposed exactly who he really was, a kid who thought he could play the system. Austin deserved someone to protect him that night. Instead, he got someone who betrayed that trust in the worst way. So here's the question. Should Dylan have kept the full 25 to life, or was 18 years fair? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading all of them. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button so you don't miss the next case. Speaking of which, there's another story you need to see, one that'll leave you speechless. Click the video on your screen right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one.